Welcome to Common Sense. Common Sense is a series of interviews with interesting people in our area so that you can get to know who they are, what they do, and what they think makes sense and what doesn't. Today, I'm Rudy Breglia, and today I'll be interviewing Tom Kramig, who's the president and CEO of the Lake Erie Crushers. Thank you, Tom, for agreeing to the interview. And why don't you start us off with giving us a little background, where you were born, where you lived, and maybe what brings you to the Lorain County area.
Well, thanks. First of all, thanks, Rudy. I appreciate the opportunity to be on your show today, and it's a pleasure to be here, or should I say, to have you here at our ballpark at Mercy Health Stadium.
Pleasure's mine.
I'm a Cincinnati guy. I was born and raised in Cincinnati. Have lived here since I purchased the Lake Erie Crushers with my wife Jacqueline in the winter of 2015, 2016. Been operating the team with the exception of 2020 since then. And so far I'm loving being in Northern Ohio and having a ball.
Okay. Well, tell us about the steps you've taken in your career.
I started life as a TV news producer, so I was on that side of the camera for about 10, 12 years. That was my career out of college. I was a journalism, broadcast journalism major at Florida Southern College, where I went to school, and did that for about 10 or 12 years. It got me into the video production business. I left the broadcast world and opened my own company in Cincinnati, and we did all sorts of different video productions, corporate, not-for-profit, commercials, the whole 9 yards, which led me to a connection with the Remax real estate company. They were a client of mine, and they were based in Denver, Colorado, and in 2006, our family moved to Denver, and we spent about 9 or 10 years out there working at their corporate headquarters. But I've been a lifelong baseball fan. You grow up in Cincinnati in the 1970s with the Big Red Machine. It's hard not to be a baseball fan. And owning a minor league team was always an idea sort of in the back of my mind that I had toyed with every once in a while, but that'll never happen. I can't do that.
Understand.
Yeah, and then in about 2014, our youngest was getting ready to go off to school. I have 2 daughters. And I started to think about this and think about it a little more and research it a little more. I was a little frustrated in my current role. And you get on the internet and you start exploring, wouldn't it be cool? Wouldn't it be cool to own a minor league baseball team? And exploring that idea, thinking it'll never happen. But that's the beauty of the internet. You can poke around and find anything. And I was able to figure out a way to put the finances together to purchase the Lake Erie Crushers. We moved here in the fall of 2015, and we took ownership of the team in February of 2016 and have been running it ever since.
Mm-hmm. Well, you have a great team and a great venue. It's absolutely beautiful here.
Thank you.
What advice would you give to someone who wants to start their own business?
Research, and more research. You really need to know what you're getting into. I started looking at this as early as 2014, but didn't purchase the team until February of 2016. I mean, we spent a long time really, first of all, researching the industry. Yeah, I knew baseball, but I didn't know the business of baseball. And that's what this is a business. So I spent a lot of time talking to a lot of people, worked with some consultants, investigated several opportunities, but this one made the most sense for us. And to me, it presented the greatest opportunity because of what's happening in Avon and on the west side of Cleveland and the growth that's going on out here. And it just seemed like the right fit for us. So I would tell someone who's starting a business, you sort of assume they're doing it out of a passion for something, that they really have a passion to do something like I have a passion for baseball. But at the end of the day, it's got to be profitable. It's got to make money, and it's got to be run like a business. So you cannot research and talk to enough people before you head down the road of, hey, let's just start a business.
Understand. Did you play baseball as a kid?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Played baseball, and when, I wasn't good enough to play anymore, I started playing softball, and just a fan of the game, and have really enjoyed being around the game and being part of the game.
Could you tell us about some of the successes of the Crushers?
We've had a few. We've had a few failures too. As any business owner will tell
Understand.
you, nothing ever goes perfectly according to the plan. We were, I think it was in 2017 or 2018, we were named Frontier League Organization of the Year. And that is an award given out by the league, not just for on the field, but the overall operation. So that was a lot of fun. That was nice. In 2019, we had some success on the field. We won the division, made the playoffs. Didn't do very well, but hey, we made the playoffs. But really, the successes we've had have tended more towards the individual players and the individual members of the front office. I tell everybody, nobody grows up thinking, I want to win a Frontier League championship. Every player on this team wants to play for a big league organization. They're chasing a dream. So when one of our guys gets signed by a major league organization, and in the 5 years we've been doing this, we've averaged about 3 to 5 guys a year. So when that kid gets signed and gets to go play for the Cleveland Indians organization or the White Sox or the Reds or whoever, they're on cloud nine. I mean, that's a lifelong dream fulfilled. So those successes are really very gratifying because you're helping that person sort of take the next step towards their dream. And the same applies to the front office staff. We hire a lot of young people here, and a lot of these people are looking to work for a major league organization. And in our time here, we've sent people to the Cavs and to the Browns, to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I hate to say that, being a Cleveland person now. To Major League Baseball, to Major League Soccer. We had a sales guy join the Indiana Pacers NBA franchise. So when those individuals get to take a step closer to their dream, it's very gratifying.
So the Crushers' successes are your successors' successes with the different players and the different staff that you have.
Yeah, that's a big part of it. Now, I have my own goals. I want to win, okay? I want to win a Frontier League championship. I hate losing at anything. So that's why we're doing this every summer, is to go out and win a Frontier League championship. So that's an unfulfilled goal of ours right now, is to reach that level, to win a title in the Frontier League.
Understand. What's the mission of the Crushers?
The Crushers are devoted to providing our guests with a variety of quality, affordable fun for all ages and family-friendly environment. Our foundation is built on hospitality, integrity, and a positive culture while striving to be the west side of Cleveland's hometown team. Now that sounds good. All mission statements sound really good and are well crafted. What we provide here is affordable family entertainment. Okay? That's really what we're about. 90% of the people who walk in this ballpark can't name a player on our roster. They don't know if we're in first place or last place. And they may leave in the 7th inning of a tied ball game and not know who won, or get up the next morning and care who won. And that's fine, okay?
But they have fun doing it.
But they have fun doing it. That's what we're about. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the Indians and the Reds, and they're putting the best baseball product on the planet out there, which we're not, okay? We're honest about that. But for a family of 4 to go downtown and see an Indians game, that can be an expensive proposition.
Expensive, yeah.
Yeah, you're going to drop $200 to $300 easily. And they can get maybe not the same level of baseball, but the same experience out here for less than $100. I mean, our tickets are anywhere from $10 to $12. The cost of a hot dog here is less than $5. I don't know what they're charging downtown. But affordable family entertainment, a fun night out, is really what we sell. So we really focus on that fan experience, okay? From the time they get off the highway and turn down Recreation Boulevard here in Avon to the time they get in their car and leave. That's got to be just easy, affordable, and fun. And that's what we strive to provide to people on the West Side.
And you do.
We
I've
try.
been to games.
We try.
Tell us about the league that the Crushers are in, the Frontier League.
The Crushers are in the Frontier League, which is 16 teams now. It stretches all the way from Quebec City, Canada, out to St. Louis, all through the sort of the Northeast, through the Midwest. We are the largest of the MLB partner leagues, and we'll get into that in a minute. But it's a pretty competitive league. It's competitive baseball. So we're very happy in the Frontier League. It fits our geographic layout. So the Frontier League, we're all about it.
Okay, well, you mentioned the official partner league of Major League Baseball. What does that mean?
For years, the Frontier League was one of 3 or 4 what they used to refer to as independent leagues or indie ball. It is professional baseball. These guys get paid. They're not college players. But we weren't an affiliate of a major league team. Like, for example, the Lake County Captains are the single A affiliate of the Indians, or the Akron Rubber Ducks are the double A affiliate of the Indians. We were known as indie ball. We were totally unaffiliated, which means any team can come along, as we've talked about, and sign our players whenever they need a guy. Indie ball for years and years was the outlaw. They weren't part of the MLB family. But at the end of the 19 season and 20, we signed a partnership. The 4 major independent leagues, the Frontier League, the Atlantic League, the American Association, and now the Pioneer League, are now what's known as MLB partner leagues, which brings us into that family. Now, we're still not affiliated with any one major league organization.
Understand.
They're not providing us players. We go out and find our own players. But we're not on the outside looking in. And I think this relationship will continue to grow once we get past COVID and people get a chance to sort of figure things out a little more. So we're excited to be a partner league. We'll be interacting a little more with the major league teams and Major League Baseball in New York, and we're excited about it.
Understand. How do you get new players? You mentioned that you go out and get players. How does that happen?
When I bought the team, being a lifelong baseball fan, all my buddies are like, "Are you out signing players? Are you scouting?" No, that's not what I do. I run the business operation of the team. Our manager, who in our case is Cam Roth, who was our manager, got signed by the Detroit Tigers to manage one of their teams and is now going to be back with us in 22. He's really the director of baseball operations. He's responsible for signing players, managing our salary cap, the whole 9 yards. I am not involved in the day-to-day level of baseball. So where do we get guys? Probably half our team will be made up of guys who played college baseball and didn't get drafted and want to keep playing. The other half are guys who maybe were signed or drafted by the Indians, by the Reds, by the White Sox, by the Yankees, played a year of A-ball, maybe played for the Captains or another single A team around the country, maybe even made it up to double A until someone figured out, yeah, he's not ready yet. So he gets released and he wants to keep playing. He's still chasing that dream, so we'll sign him and he'll join the Lake Erie Crushers for a season or two, trying to get back to that affiliated level.
Understand. Are players constantly rated during the playing season?
Absolutely.
To see whether they're going to be on the team?
Absolutely. We carry a roster of 24 players, and we'll change out up to a dozen players over the course of a season. This is I like to say sort of last chance baseball. Okay, so if you're not good enough here, chances are you're going to get released, and it's time to go. I like to say, grow up and go get a real job. Stop chasing the dream. But yeah, absolutely, we're competing to win. And if a guy's not getting it done, if he can't hit, if he can't pitch well enough to help us win games, trust me, there are plenty of guys out there. We hosted the Frontier League tryouts this year. Every year the league holds an open tryout. Anybody who wants to show up and I think it's pay $50 can try out. This year, and it rotates around every spring to a different park. This year we hosted it. We had over 312 kids who signed up. So trust me, if you're not getting it done, there's plenty of guys out there who are fighting for your job. So these guys, they understand they're sort of hanging on to the dream by the skin of their teeth. They work very hard.
Okay, well, tell us, how many staff do you have both on and off season?
Front office staff year-round is about a dozen people, and they're doing things like ticket sales or advertising sales or planning our promotions or our marketing or stadium operations. We have about a dozen of those folks. Starting in May, that number will jump up closer to 100 people because you're staffing concession stands and ticket takers and ushers and parking staff and all the various and different things. Plus you're throwing in there 3 coaches, 24 baseball players, a clubhouse attendant. So yeah, our payroll in the summer is close to, if not over 100 people. But when that season ends, it drops back down to a dozen.
Okay, how long is this season?
Season starts the second week of May. We play 96 total games, 48 home, 48 on the road, plus we'll usually play an exhibition game or two. We play second week of May through Labor Day weekend is the regular season. We end on that Sunday, and then we'll do about 2 weeks of playoffs after that.
Understand. Tell us about the stadium itself, the Mercy Health Stadium. Where is it? You know, how big is it? That kind of thing.
Mercy Health Stadium is located in Avon, Ohio. It's right on Interstate 90. You can probably hear it in the background. The cars roaring by. We're right off 611. The stadium itself was built by the city of Avon, and they own the ballpark. We lease it. It holds about 3,500 seats. Plus, I think you can probably see behind us the general admission hill. The seats run everything from the seating bowl, what we call the home box tickets, to the terrace tables where we're sitting right now. We have 11 second level luxury suites. We have open party decks because we do a lot of group outings. We have concourse boxes that have a little higher grade cushion patio furniture. You can get food delivered right to your seat at a terrace table or a concourse box. So it's got a little something for everybody as far as seating.
Okay, tell us a little bit about, you mentioned the city of Avon built this stadium and you lease it. Tell us a little bit about that.
When I came in and bought the team from the original owner in winter of 2015-16, I assumed the existing lease from the city of Avon. We pay rent, we share some of the repair expenses out here, but we essentially manage the stadium 365 days a year. The city can hold events here. For example, the city recently sponsored the Avon High School multi-class reunion that was held out here in September, but primarily it is run and operated by the Crushers. Now, when I got here, I thought I bought a baseball team. I rented a facility, and 48 baseball games isn't going to get it done from a business perspective. So we try to use this facility as much as we can, given that we're in northern Ohio between the 1st of March and the 1st of November. And actually we're doing events all the way up until mid-December this year.
Okay, you mentioned special events. What special events have you had?
We've done concerts out here. We've done a craft beer festival for several years out here. We've done celebrity charity softball games out here. We do a lot of youth sports out here. We're doing a flag football league this fall, starting at the end of October and going into December. During the spring, there's quite a bit of high school and college baseball that's played out here. Avon High School plays here. St. Ed's plays here. Notre Dame College plays here. So we try to keep something on this field every day. And Avon High School gets to use the stadium for free as part of the lease agreement, but everybody else is paying a rental fee. So we try to do as much of that as we can to maximize usage of the facility.
And now the question I have next is something I love to talk about is you have fireworks Fridays, spectacular Saturdays, and fun Sundays. Tell us a little bit about those events.
Well, again, as we discussed earlier, not everybody here is a baseball fan, okay? They're just looking for a fun night out. Friday nights, we shoot off fireworks after every home game, and it is far and away our most popular event.
For me.
Yeah, we'll have 2,500, 3,000 people here typically on a Friday night waiting for that fireworks show after the game. And the shows are pretty good. Saturday could be anything. Could be a giveaway of a bobblehead. Generally, after Saturday games, we do kids kickball on the field, where once the game is over, there'll be a couple hundred kids out on that field playing kickball games all over the place and running around having a blast. Sundays, we do post-game autographs. We also have ticket incentive deals for families on Sundays because that's a 2:05 game and more of a family outing day than maybe the Friday night or Saturday night games. But families are really here every night. So,
what about Wagon Wednesday? Well, what is that?
Tail Wagon Wednesday. That's bring your dog. Most places call it Bark in the Park. You can bring your dog to the ballpark, and a lot of teams will do one or two of them over the course of the summer. We're dog people here. We love dogs. There are dogs running around here right now. So every Wednesday you can bring your four-legged friend out to the ballpark, and as long as they're on a leash and you clean up after them, it's a lot of fun because we love dogs out here.
Oh, tell us about Stomper.
Stomper Bear. Stomper Bear is the mascot. And has been here since before I got here, since the team was founded in 2009. And if you ask people around town about the Lake Erie Crushers, I would venture a guess that more than anything, they know the name Stomper Bear. He is far and away the most recognized face of the organization. He's a big furry bear and wears a purple jersey, and he is out in the community every chance he can get, seeing the people, shaking hands, and just having a good time.
What about the Stomper Reading Club? What is that?
The Reading Club is something that's been going on for quite a few years here, and what it's designed to do is encourage kids to read, particularly elementary and middle school kids.
Great.
So what we do in the winter months, late winter, spring, really starting end of February, is we go out into the schools. Now, we haven't been able to do it the last 2 years. We're very hopeful to do it in 22. And we do presentations to the kids, assemblies and school gatherings where Stomper will act out his favorite baseball book and really get into it and have fun and a lot of interaction with the kids. But it's all designed around getting the kids excited about reading. And it's administered by those individual teachers in those classrooms. Any kid who reads 4 books that the teacher deems, at their reading level, they get a free ticket to a Crushers game that summer.
Wow.
And we've presented annually over about 20,000 kids. He's out at least 40 to 50 times every year visiting different schools, and again, getting people and getting kids excited about reading.
Oh, that's great. Tell us about the Crushers logo.
Well, the Crushers name, when we got here in 2015, 2016, they've always been known as the Crushers, but the logo was very different. The logo was sort of a generic guy swinging a baseball bat, and the colors were black and red. And so as we started to really research the team and the history of the team, we found out that the team was named after the local vineyards that were very big in this area. You've got a couple of them right here in Avon Lake. But the logo and the team colors really didn't seem to match the name. So people loved the name, but we would ask them, well, what's a crusher? And they would sort of, well, it's a baseball player. He's out there on the field. What are you asking me for? So we dug into it a little more and decided that we wanted to rebrand the logo, not the team name, but do a better job of telling the story about what do the Crushers mean? What does Crushers mean? And why are they called that? And so we've tried to do that with the grape and getting back to the history of the local area and what the team was really named for.
Understand. What's the Fan Attic?
Fan Attic is our gift shop. That's where we sell hats and T-shirts and souvenir balls and foam fingers and pretty much anything you could possibly want with a Crushers logo on it. It's right here in the ballpark. It's open most days.
What concessions do you have here for the patrons?
Concessions is something I'm really proud of here. I mean, we have all your traditional ballpark concessions. I mean, what do we sell? We sell hot dogs more than anything else. Hot dogs, pizza, chicken fingers, hamburgers, you name it. But as far as our food and beverage, Greg Kabunski, who's been our food and beverage guy since we got here, used to work in the fine dining industry. And up in the suite level, he does, yes, you can get a hot dog, you can get traditional ballpark food, but he brings a level of cuisine to that is really spectacular. I mean, you walk into a suite in one of our games, people will be eating salmon fillets and shrimp cocktails and shish kebab skewers. I mean, it is very, very good food, high level. In our suites, we have a lot of businesses that are doing a lot of corporate entertaining. And if you're trying to sell a client on something, here, have this hot dog and beer. So we really try to take it to a higher level as far as food and beverage in the suites. And Greg does an outstanding job and really puts his heart and soul into it. And it's great stuff.
What's the most popular food or drink here?
Well, as much as Greg loves to do all that high-end stuff, that's the really fun part because he came from the fine dining world. I always remind him at the end of every season, hey, what did we sell more of than anything else? Hot dogs. We sold more hot dogs than anything else. That's what we sell. I mean, that when you go to the ballpark, that's what people sort of expect to get. You know, you go to the ballpark and you get a beer and a soda, or if you're old enough, you get or a hot dog and a beer, or a hot dog and a soda.
I love your hot dogs.
Yeah, they're good. They're good. He takes a lot of pride in the food and beverage here.
Understand. What does it mean to be a Crusher partner?
You see the signs all over the ballpark. Those are corporate partners or businesses that are supporting the Crushers. They get great exposure out here. You know, we're hopeful that in 2022, we're going to put 150,000 people through this ballpark. That's some pretty good exposure for the West Side. But it's also companies that are interested in supporting what the Crushers are about, and that's being a good corporate citizen, a good community partner, giving back to the community. We have close to 100 corporate partners out here. You can see all the signs when you're out here at the ballpark, and we could not do this without them. They are absolutely vital to the bottom line here and to what we're able to provide the people who come out to the ballpark.
And what are the United Kingdom Kent Mariners?
That's an interesting story. They reached out to us this past off season. It is a amateur team that's promoting baseball across the pond in England, and they wanted to have a partner team in the U.S. So they reached out to us. They're playing in the summer, same as we are. They've been around for a couple years. They're promoting the Crushers overseas, and we're promoting them here. Now, are any of our Crusher fans planning a trip to England to go watch them? I'm not sure about that, but it's something that's kind of fun, and we hope to further promote them, maybe get some of their jerseys and sell them in the Fan Attic, or send some of ours over there and they can sell them. It's just sort of a neat little partnership, and again, it's about promoting baseball.
So you have like a international side.
Yeah, we've got an international flair. We're very sophisticated here.
Okay, well, tell us about the baseball camps that you have for kids.
We generally run 2 camps every summer that are sort of run by the front office and by the players and the coaches. Again, it's part of that whole giving back, being part of the community. One of the great things about not just the Crushers, but minor league baseball in general, is the players on the field are much more accessible to kids. You know, getting an autograph at a major league game can be tough. You're so far away.
Impossible.
Yeah, you know, those players are really sort of up on a pedestal, and they're great players and they're great people. but there's just sort of a natural distance there, okay? Kids at our camp are getting instruction from the guys who are playing the game every night. So you may come to the camp in June or July and be instructed by that night's starting pitcher or that night's starting catcher or first baseman. And it really creates a great connection. I mean, I'll see kids at the camp who come to the game that night, and after the game, that player comes over and starts talking to the kid about what they worked on that morning in baseball camp. So again, it's generally for the younger kids. It's not for the high school kids. But it's just another way of A, promoting baseball, and B, giving back to the community. Being part of the community is a huge part of any minor league team, and it's a huge part of what the Crushers do. We donate the field. A couple weeks ago, we had the Lorraine County Cancer Society Relay for Life out here. We had the Walk to End Alzheimer's out here. But also during the baseball season, the Crushers will do fundraising events. We donate hundreds of tickets to local charities that reach out and just say, hey, we're doing a charity raffle. Can you donate 4 tickets? Sure, we send them 4 tickets. We'll send them a merchandise basket. We also have a fundraising program through the team where not-for-profit groups can come in, buy tickets in bulk at a discount, turn around and sell those tickets at full price and keep the profit, keep the difference. So again, helping nonprofits, helping local community organizations from Little League Baseball, youth sports, high school bands, whoever it may be. Yes, there's a benefit for us because it endears them to the Crushers and it helps build a fan base, but it's also good for the community because these groups are doing great things in Avon and the entire west side of Cleveland.
What about host families for the players? Would you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, our players aren't getting paid what Major League Baseball players are getting paid. They're getting paid very little money. I mean, that's just the business model that we have here. And so in exchange for that, we provide them other benefits. We provide them a place to live. We're a local family. We'll take in a ball player for the summer and have them live in a spare bedroom or their finished basement. And it really makes this whole thing sort of feasible. We inherited a great host family program when we got here and have been able to maintain it. I mean, these folks, again, kind of like the corporate partners, this whole business model doesn't work without host families. If these guys had to pay for an apartment for 4 months, it doesn't work.
Tough.
Yeah, it'd be really tough. So the host families, they feed these guys, they come out and support them. They really are that host family or that host mom or dad for 4 months while that kid's living here. They're, like I said, they're coming out to the games, they're cheering them on, they're feeding them, they're doing their laundry. I keep telling the host moms, no, they're grown men. They ought to be able to do their own stinking laundry. But the moms are like, oh, no, that's fine. I'll do it for them. And we have about 15 of them every year. Always looking for more if you want a ball player. Right. And these families, they don't get paid for this. They get 2 free season tickets, and we have a couple of events for them with the players, 1 preseason, 1 postseason. They get a little bit of a discount at concessions or the fan attic, but they're really doing this because, again, they're supporting the organization. They're supporting these kids who are chasing a dream.
Tom, what do you do in the off season? Your spare time?
Spare time? When the season ends, we take about a week and sort of collapse and regroup, and then we start planning. We have 7 months to plan for next season. And that's, first of all, we evaluate everything from a business perspective. Ticket sales, corporate partners, food and beverage, everything and anything that we do. We look at our marketing. We look at our promotions and our theme nights. Did they draw enough fans? Were they entertaining enough? Did people embrace the idea and participate? Everything gets put on the table and evaluated. And then we start planning again for the next year. One of our huge challenges in 2021 was the fact that we only really had about 4 months to plan. And it was very challenging. We did not do as well in 21 as I would have liked. So we start now, and again, we look at everything from the type of hot dog we serve to the theme nights we have. you name it, we do it, and evaluate it, break it down, and think, again, always driven by how do we make that fan experience bigger, better, more enjoyable.
I know the Crushers have a website and that you have a newsletter.
Yep. We have LakeErieCrushers.com, which is sort of the source of any possible question or piece of information you might need on the organization. We also have a newsletter called The Grapevine, again, tying into the wine and the theme, that goes out once a month during the off season and twice a month during the season. You can sign up for that on the website. It's one of the drop-down menus of sign up for our newsletter. It just sort of keeps you updated on what's going on, when we have a schedule, when tickets go on sale, player changes. You know, the big news was our new manager, our old manager coming back. So a lot of good information there if you want to follow the team.
Okay, can you tell us about the whether baseball is still the national pastime? Is the trend away from baseball, or is it receiving a renaissance?
Baseball attendance has been down this year, major league, minor league, across everything. Now, we are coming off a pandemic.
True.
We started the season thinking and actually being on restricted seating. We were able to get off of that in June. Is baseball still the national pastime? You can call it that. Is baseball the most popular sport in America? Absolutely not. NFL has passed it by. And I think baseball needs to make some changes. Major League Baseball, even though we're a partner league, they haven't called me to ask me about those changes yet. But the game needs to be more entertaining. It needs to appeal to younger fans. It's still a great game, but that's not to say it couldn't be improved in certain ways. One of the things I would love to see is a pitch clock. There's a shot clock in basketball. There's a play clock in the NFL. Nobody, including the owner of the Crushers, wants to sit here for a 4-hour baseball game, okay? The game is too slow. It needs to be sped up. There's too much sort of not goofing around, but just too much dead time. The game needs to be more entertaining. But it's still immensely popular. Millions of people will come out to both Major League and minor league ballparks this year. But it's not to say it can't be improved from a business perspective.
What are your plans and goals for the Crushers?
Well, the number one goal is to win that Frontier League championship.
Understand.
That's why we're doing this. I want to win. I want to raise that banner and say that, we were champions of the league in 2022. Other goals are to just continue to build a fan base, continue to give back to the community and be good community citizens, to use the success of the Crushers to help grow other not-for-profit organizations, help them raise money for good causes. And the other thing is to help both our players and our staff achieve their goals and dreams, whether it's playing Major League Baseball or working for the Cleveland Browns or the Cleveland Indians.
If you want to summarize, what makes sense to you and what doesn't these days?
Well, I will tell you our biggest challenge this year, and it wasn't just ours, it's everywhere. One of the things that doesn't make sense to me these days is, where did all the workers go? I mean, you drive around town, we struggled to staff a lot of our positions this summer. And you drive around town and virtually every restaurant and a lot of other businesses has a now hiring sign. That baffles me. Where did all the workers go? We were fully staffed when we played in 2019, and this year it was just a struggle. So that's one thing that right now doesn't make sense to me. I don't get where everybody went and why they're not working.
I think a lot of people are in your ballpark there.
Yeah.
To coin a phrase.
Yeah, that was a struggle.
Well, thank you very much, Tom. I thank you for watching Common Sense. We would appreciate your comments on the program. If you would like to appear on the program, or an interesting person who would also like to appear on the program, please send us their contact information and we will respond. Remember, seatbelts save lives. Thank you.
The preceding program was presented to you by a community producer. The statements, views, and opinions expressed were not necessarily those of ALC TV or the City of Avon Lake.